The wind carried an eerie stillness as Erica stepped out of her black Rolls Royce, her long flowing gown whispering against the ground. The high gate of her mansion opened with a mechanical hum. Erica's home, a sprawling estate at the edge of the city, had become a sanctuary for abandoned children. She had built a reputation of unmatched kindness, often appearing at fundraisers and charity events. Erica was a woman whose beauty was the kind that could stop conversations in a crowded room. Her golden skin gleamed like the sun, and her gentle brown eyes carried a warmth that could melt even the coldest hearts. Everywhere she went, heads turned. She was rich beyond imagination, with a mansion that stretched as far as the eyes could see, and cars that packed in rows like soldiers ready for inspection. Her name was synonymous with kindness. Erica's love for children was a tale told far and wide. She had built a reputation as a philanthropist who rescued children from the streets, gave them shelter, and offered them the warmth of a mother's care. Over the years, she adopted many boys. In fact, she only adopted male children. When asked why, she would smile sweetly and explain, "Boys need more direction in life. The streets are harsher to them. I want to guide them before the world breaks them." People nodded in agreement, never questioning her further. Erica's mansion was always alive with laughter, and she took great pride in showing off her home to donors who wanted to support her cause. Those donors showered her with money and gifts, adding even more to her already flowing wealth. She would even go to hospitals, volunteering to take care of babies whose parents lacked financial capability. "I can take care of him for you. He is still your son. You can take him wherever you want," she would say, flashing a contagious smile. To many, Erica was an angel, but behind her radiant smile and kind deeds, Erica carried a secret that would make even the boldest shudder. The day began as usual. Erica sat in her sunlit parlor, going through applications for adoption. Her assistant, a jittery young woman named Zila, handed her a folder containing the details of a boy who had recently been left at an orphanage. Erica's eyes sparkled as she read his name. His picture, a small boy with a wide, innocent eyes, seemed to leap off the page. "Send for him," she said with a smile that Zila found both comforting and unsettling. By afternoon, the boy, who was only 5 years old, stood before her, clutching a toy car. Erica knelt to his height, her gentle hands cupping his small face. "Welcome home, little one," she cooed. "You're safe now." That night, she prepared his room, tucking him into bed with warm milk and stories. But in the middle of the night, she went into the boy's room and carried him to her room, locking the door behind her. 2 weeks later, Erica had gone to pick up one of her boys from school. The boy had run to her happily and gave her a loving hug, and then jumped into the car. Erica was about to turn when he saw a boy named Ekene sitting by the stairs crying. She approached him and asked why he was crying. The boy told her that he was very hungry and that he was waiting for his mother. Erica frowned and looked at the time. The poor boy looked exhausted and drained. She asked the boy if he had his mother's phone number, and he said yes. Erica called the woman. "Hello, madam. My name is Erica." The woman knew instantly who she was and smiled sheepishly over the phone. "Madam Erica, good evening, ma." Madam, your son is here now. He is crying bitterly. He looks hungry and tired. Are you close by so that you can take him home?" "My goodness, I'm not close by at all. In fact, I am very far away. I am stuck in traffic like this," Laju, the boy's mother, lamented. "Okay, madam. I will take him to my house for the meantime, because this boy looks like he will faint the next minute. So please come to my house and get him. I will text you my address now." Laju was so grateful and thanked Erica over and over again. When they got to the house, Erica fed Ekene with rice and stew with a big turkey. When he was done, He asked him if he wanted a chocolate, and Ekene nodded his head like a lizard. She led him by the hand and led him to her bedroom. When they entered, she locked the door behind them. She then drank something from a black container that was on her table. She brought out a chocolate candy and held it in her hands. Then she removed all her clothes and brought out her round oranges. Ekene, who was a good boy, covered his eyes. Erica held her 2 oranges in her hands and smiled at Ekene. Milk was dropping from her round oranges. She moved closer to Ekene and removed his small hands from his eyes. "Just put your mouth here," she said, pointing at her nipples. "If you drink this milk, I will get you all the candies you want and plenty delicious sweets and biscuits," she said, flashing him a sweet smile. Ekene's eyes fell on the delicious chocolate and assorted lollipop that was laying on the bed. So he closed his eyes and sucked the milk from Erica's oranges. While at it, Erica felt a sudden sharp pain in her heart. It worked! She laughed. "Oh, you're an angel!" she laughed, kissing Ekene on the head. When he was done, Erica patted him gently on his head and gave him all the chocolate and biscuits. When Ekene joyfully left the room with his chocolates, Erica stood in front of the mirror. A sinister smile appeared on her lips. 20 more years in the bag, she smiled happily. "Now, I will live up to 100 years and more." She laughed again, raising a glass of wine in a toast to herself. You see, when Erica was just 20 years old, she had followed one of her friends to church, but the prophet had told Erica that he wanted to see her. After service, she went into his office. She sat there trembling when the prophet revealed her fate. "Your time on this earth is short," he said. "You do not have a long life, young woman. Prepare your soul, because you will not reach the age of 25. Erica's heart sank. "Please, Pastor, help me," she said and fell to her knees as she cried. "I cannot help you," the man said. "Some people are not destined to have a long life, and you are one of them. You are lucky that you get to know. Others do not have that luxury. So I urge you to prepare your soul for the afterlife." But Erica didn't prepare her soul. She always thought she would live long like her grandmother did. The woman had lived 120 years, and even her mother is 70 and is still kicking. Why is her own different? Well, she wasn't going to sit and accept it. She loved life and she was not ready to die. So after painstaking inquiries, she sought out a native doctor named Adanaya, a mysterious woman who lived deep in the forest. The doctor, cloaked in beads and herbs, had told Erica of a dark ritual. The life of children is pure, Adanaya had said. Male children especially, the ones born under a full moon. The full moon carries divine powers. Let the male children suckle on your breast, and their years shall become yours. But be warned, the act leaves traces, spiritual marks that cannot be erased. But how do I know the ones born under the full moon? Erica asked, her hope dwindling. You won't. So you have to search and experiment. Once the right one suckles on your breast, you will feel a sharp pain in your heart. That meant their years had been added to yours. And a single life of a boy is 20 years. And the cherry on top, the boys will not remember anything about the milk drinking encounter. So in order to get the boys and experiment on them, she started a philanthropic act, which added a gold mine to her agenda. She became rich, extremely rich due to donations and support from millionaires and billionaires. She had killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Since then, Erica's mansion had become a trap. The children, unaware of her true intentions, called her Mama Erica and adored her. So amongst the 15 children she was caring for, she had stolen 20 years from 4 of the boys. She was supposed to die at 25, but she was now 28 and was still alive and kicking. Laju had picked up Ekene from Erica's place that night, thanking her over and over again for her kindness. Days later, Ekene fell gravely ill. His once lively face grew pale, and his energy drained as if something invisible was pulling the life out of him. This was strange. Ekene was a healthy boy who never got sick. But now, he was feeling sick every time. Terrified, Laju rushed him to the hospital, but they couldn't find anything wrong with Ekene. She took him to several hospitals, but they all had the same thing to say. It was then Laju knew that it must be something spiritual, so she rushed her son to a prayer house. There, a prophet revealed the chilling truth. Your son has been robbed of his years. Someone has stolen 20 years from his life, and now the darkness resides in him. Your son will never be the same again. Laju had laughed. What are you saying? Someone stole his years? How is that even possible? For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, and spiritual wickedness in high places. Someone has stolen several years of life from your son. Laju's heart sank. Who would do this? She cried. This is not the time to cry, the man said, looking at Laju with pity. What do I do? Laju wailed bitterly. How do I get it back? The person must return it willingly or die spiritually, since it is a spiritual battle. Laju returned home. She was lost. Who would do this to her child? He asked Ekene what happened, but the poor boy couldn't tell or remember anything. And then it hit Laju. The body cam. Laju had placed the body cam on Ekene some weeks ago. The boy had been complaining about his teacher eating his food, but whenever she confronted the teacher, she would deny it with her full chest. She had reported the incident severally to the school authorities, but without evidence, nothing could be done. So that day, had placed the body cam on Ekene to catch the teacher red-handed. She had forgotten about it due to the stress of Ekene being sick. So with hands trembling, she quickly checked the camera, praying to find something on it. Well, she caught the teacher eating Ekene's lunch, alright? But that was the least of her problem right now. She decided to play the camera to the end, hoping to find something. Then she saw when Erica had taken Ekene to her house. And then she saw it. Her son suckling on Erica's breasts. She screamed in horror. What is the meaning of this? She shouted to herself. She knew that something was not right. Laju didn't go back to the prayer house. She did not want to take it easy on Erica. God might have mercy and forgive her, but she wasn't willing to. She wanted to deal with her mercilessly. So that evening, she sought out a native doctor. Immediately the herbal man saw Erica. He shouted in horror. She did not only steal from your son, but she has stolen from many others. She will live up to 100 years and beyond if she continues stealing, and with those stolen lives, she will live for a very long time. What can we do to stop her, Baba? Laju asked, anger evident in her voice. She must die. Only then will your son and others get their lives back. The man brought out a substance and gave it to Laju. Anything and anyhow you want to make her eat this, you have to. She has to eat this for your son's life to be returned. Laju collected the liquid black substance and smiled at the man. Don't worry. Leave it to me. Laju's sorrow turned to rage. She knew she couldn't confront Erica directly. People would never believe her. Erica was a celebrated hero, a woman whose kindness was practically sacred. Laju began to research. She even met with some of her family members, and then she hit the jackpot. Erica loved cakes. In fact, she was addicted to cakes. Laju smiled. Your time is here, Erica. She spent the next few days baking a delicious cake, a special one filled with her fury, and then she turned the liquid the man had given her into the cake, mixing it with passion. Dressing in her finest clothes, she went to Erica's mansion with the cake in hand. Erica welcomed her warmly. They sat together, chatting over tea and laughter, as Laju slid the cake across the table. This is for you, Laju said sweetly. A token of gratitude for what you did for my son and all you've done for the children. Erika's eyes lit up. She adored cakes. How do you know I love cakes? I was just about to go get one this evening. Oh, I don't, Laju replied. I just thought it was the perfect gift. I mean, I assumed everybody likes cake, Laju said, laughing innocently. Oh, I love it, Erika said while calling on Zilla to bring a knife and plate. She took her first bite as Laju watched her closely. Why did you do it? Laju asked suddenly, her voice steady but cold. Erika froze mid-bite. Do what? You know what? Laju replied, her eyes piercing through Erika's pretense. For the first time, Erika faltered. I don't know what you're talking about, she said weakly. Laju stood up, her composure unraveling. You stole my son's life. You have stolen so many lives. You are a monster hiding behind a pretty face. Erika stood up, spitting out the remaining cake that was in her mouth. I still don't know what you are saying. Laju walked up to her slowly. She leaned in close to her ears and whispered, I hope you rot in hell. Erika's lips trembled, but she said nothing as Laju stormed out of her house. The next day, Zilla had arrived at the mansion to start her job for the day. But Erika didn't come out. After waiting for several hours, she decided to check in on her. There, she saw Erika's lifeless body on the bed. Erika had died in her sleep. News of her sudden death spread like wildfire, shocking the whole community. Many people suspected foul play, so an autopsy was conducted, but it was determined that she died of unnatural causes, a heart attack. Erika's death spread everywhere. While in her sitting room, Laju sat on the couch, her legs crossed as she sipped a glass of juice. She smiled as a reporter on television announced the shocking death of Erika Brownson. The liquid she had mixed in Erika's cake was not a poison. It only recrafted the lives stolen from those innocent kids. So being that she was to die at 25 but had lived, she was now 29 and without any more lives left in her body. She died. While the reporter reported that she died of a heart attack, Laju laughed, almost choking on her juice. Heart attack indeed. She messed with my son. I only returned her to the grave where she belongs. No one messes with my son, she yelled at the television. She turned around and looked at Ekene, who was running around happily. The spark in his eyes were brighter than ever. He was now hale and hearty, as if he wasn't severely sick few days ago. Strangely, the children who had grown sick in Erika's care began to recover, their youthful energy returning as if a curse had been lifted. Their once pale faces now bright and healthy. They all cried and missed Erika, without even knowing that she had stolen their lives and it had been restored because of a mother's love. Oh, and by the way, Laju finally approached the teacher who usually stole Ekene's food. When she saw the evidence, the teacher fell to her knees. Madam, I ate the food because it's always so delicious. I can't help it. You are a very good cook. Please forgive me. Finally, the truth. So instead of getting angry at the teacher who was done begging Laju had laughed. You should have said this since. She laughed again. I'm glad you love my food. And by the way, you've practically saved my son's life. The teacher looked up at Laju in utter shock. Save her? Save your son's life? Madam, what are you talking about? But Laju only smiled and told her nothing. From that day henceforth, when Laju packs food for her son, she also packs one for the teacher. The teacher got to enjoy Laju's delicious meals till Ekene graduated. Thank you so much for watching today's story. If you watched to this point, that means you liked the story. So please like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. Thank you so much and see you next time.